Hi, I'm Chef Ryan from No Tree Restaurant here in Napa. Today we're going to be making wood fire roasted radicchio. It's going to be marinated in balsamic vinegar. And then we're going to, in the same pan, crisp up some prosciutto, some sliced garlic, Calabrian, and then finish with some butter. Your oven temp, you want it around 700 and 800 degrees. You don't want it too hot, you don't want it too cold. You want it enough to get a nice char and bitterness to it, because the radicchio, it's already bitter, but with the bitterness of the char, it's going to make it a little sweeter. And so we got the radicchio already quartered in a cast iron pan, and we're going to go ahead and season it with salt and pepper and olive oil and balsamic. Good amount of salt. And you can do this ahead of time and get the radicchio kind of marinating in the balsamic if you want. So we're gonna find the right spot of the oven to put it in. Probably gonna go right in the middle. I like using a towel to protect your hand so you don't lose all your arm hair. And we're just gonna let that roast for about 10-15 minutes till it gets a nice char to it. And then we're going to pull it out, chop it up, and then we're going to finish the rest of the accoutrement for it. So we're looking for the radicchio to have a nice char and roast in the oven, and it looks like it's charring away very nicely. Probably give it another 5 minutes or so from this point. So the radicchio is about there, where we want it. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. And get that nice char, crispiness to it. Put it right here on a cooling rack. It's just about cooked through. Doesn't need to be fully cooked through because we're going to chop it up and cook it more anyway. Balsamic's almost cooked down like a reduction, so it's not as harsh as it normally would be, which is real nice and sweet. It's a little warm to the touch, but just go faster and you'll be fine. So, depends on how big you want the cuts. I like to go right down the middle here and then just go and do some large dices. All of it's edible. Even the core here, it's nice and tender right now, and it'll be a nice little chewy bit. So we have that all cut. Now in the same pan, we're going to add a nice knob of butter and get that back in the oven to heat up. So we got that butter nice and melted. And we're going to go ahead and add some sliced garlic. Depends on how much you want. This is probably going to be about 4 cloves worth. And the radicchio is about 2 heads worth. And we're going to add probably about 2 ounces of chopped prosciutto. And a nice generous spoonful of Calabrian chili. And we're just going to give that a little toast in the oven, We're going to have it toast for about 2 minutes or so until everything gets nice and caramelized. So make sure that we stir it around so it gets all even cooking and doesn't burn in one spot, because this side is going to be obviously hotter than this side. But as you can see, we're nice and caramelized and the prosciutto is getting nice and crispy. So now we'll go ahead and add the chopped radicchio to it. Smells fucking amazing. We're just going to go ahead and give that a nice toss. And we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more balsamic. And a couple more knobs of butter. And we're just going to send that back in the oven right where we were. We'll let that go for another 5 minutes or so, and then we got a beautiful Tuscan-inspired contorno. So it's right where we want it to be. It's been about 5 minutes. It's nice and stewed. It smells great. In this dish, I usually serve it with nice pieces of meat. You can serve it with bistecca Florentine or porchetta or braised short ribs. It goes really nice with that. And for right now, we're just going to serve it in a bowl. And you can serve this family style along with everything else that you're serving it with. And there you have a nice vegetable contorno to go with your main dishes for the evening.